my legs.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, that's over with.
No, turn it back. What is it? I don't know. That's not the song at all, right?
What song?
I don't know.
Maybe you're writing it.
Maybe.
How you feeling? You had a week, didn't you? So
Did
when
I?
yeah, of course we did. Of course we did. You did a lot of things this week. This week was a very physical week. You did.
Oh! How am I, like, physically, how am I feeling? Nobody ever asks me that.
How physically? Well, that's kind of nice. Hang on, that's kind of nice. That means they're more concerned with your mental health, I assume, right? They're like, how are you doing? Or spiritually, maybe they're like spiritually like, hey, how you doing?
How you doing? You okay, Captain? You all right? Yeah.
Are they're East
No,
Coast?
Well, yeah, my whole family is East Coast, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that Mulroney clan goes deep.
My
Virginia?
mom's...
Most of them?
No.
Most
oh,
of
no,
them.
No. So they're all New England.
Oh.
Well, New York. So my dad's from Long Island. And my mom is from... She grew up in Virginia Beach, but she was from Maryland. And
Okay.
then, so like that side of the family, my grandma's from Philadelphia, my grandpa's from Maryland, and they met there. And then my mom moved to Manhattan after college for work because she wanted to be that girl. Like
Yeah.
there was a television show called That Girl or something like that. And she was like,
Really?
oh, yeah.
It was like their age new girl.
Yeah. No. It was more like, even though that did inspire a lot of people to move into lofts, the new girl. Yeah. No, but hers was more like, she wanted to be like a working girl in the city because where, my grandma didn't work. She, took care of the kids and cooked and cleaned. She was a Marine first, though.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's not just glaze over. You know
One
what you
of
did?
the first
You buried.
Marines,
Yeah.
too.
Actually,
Yeah.
I feel like I knew this information. Hang on. So you glaze over. She's like, yeah, my grandma didn't do shit. I mean.
No, she did. No, but she raised 6 kids. What are you gonna do? Like,
Fucking A. What was harder, being in the Marines or raising 6 kids?
I think probably raising 6 kids.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
This is on mom's side.
Mom's side, yeah.
Mom's
Dad's
side.
had 8.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there's 8 of those guys, man.
Yeah.
What's that like? That's a big Thanksgiving.
Massive.
Yeah.
It's fun. Like it was super, super fun growing up doing all of that because you get like I love a big family gathering. You just, when you're a kid, it's like you hang out with all your cousins and you just have a good time and there's not any of you're not aware of any of the drama.
No, why would you be?
You're just, now it's like, oh, so-and-so has beef with so-and-so. Mainly what it is now, not so much anymore. I think I've overcome most of this, but for the longest, they just didn't like me because I was...
Why?
Well, I was weird.
You're still weird, but why wouldn't they like you? Can I
yeah,
ask...
but now I have fans, so it's okay.
That's so wild, man.
Yeah. So now it's like, well, all the people love us, so I guess she's aight.
You know what I've always, and this isn't like a new idea, but you know what I always think about? We grow up, and you're told like, oh, if you're, I mean, not so much now. Now weird is trendy, but when we were growing up and before us, it's like if you're you're the weird kid, you're the outcast, you're into the arts, you like weird music, or you dress eccentric, or maybe you have eccentric behavior, you're loud, or maybe you don't bend to the status quo, whatever the case may be. You're kind of demonized for it, and you take on all that like insecurity as like a little kid, and then, what I always thought about, even then was, but all the people that we like, literally everyone in history that you can think of that whose name you remember, right? Weirdo. Case in point, Genghis Khan. What a goober.
Real goober.
Can I tell you when I bet when he was getting together with his other Mongolian buddies, and they were sitting around like, what's on your mind? While they're playing like D&D or whatever they did back in those days. I guess D&D was probably a lot more intense back then. Dude. Regardless, Genghis Khan was probably like, guys, listen, I'm only bringing this up because I'm only bringing this up because you're my closest friends. I have a dream, a vision, a quest.
Don't bastardize the "I have the dream" speech with Genghis Khan. Don't do that.
That's definitely not where I was going. Anyway, back to Genghis Khan. I feel like he was sitting around with his buddies, and he was like, guys, I have a vision. I have call it a prophecy. It came to me. He's like, I'm gonna take over, like, the entire world. And they're like, big dreams, big swings, my man. And they're like, no. He's like, no. Like, I'm gonna take over the entire world. And there's nothing that anyone can do about it. This is what I see for myself. This is my truth. Mm-hmm. And thankfully, Genghis Khan had the kind of friends that were like, hey, we believe in you. And we should all be so lucky. And because of that, what did he do? They say 10% of the population can trace their DNA back to Mr. Khan. And best believe, Mr. Khan, maybe a doctor. I don't know what the stipulations were for PhDs back then, but I bet he was the equivalent to a doctor. He had his PhD, his peasants hate
doctors.
The Khan.
They
hate the Khan, man. The Khan. Genghis Khan. Yo.
Peasants hate the Khan. They do. We all do. We hate being conned. We hate it. We don't like it.
There you go. Genghis Khan.
I don't like to put myself... I refuse to be considered a peasant, though. I just won't do it.
Nobody's calling you a peasant.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I don't want to be in that category.
Hey. Nobody is under the impression that you give off peasant energy.
Dude.
You know what you give off? Can I tell you what you give off?
What? What?
You know what you did? You made a gesture. You made a gesture like someone who knew I was going to say you give off princess or queen energy. You were like, what? Go ahead and say it. You give off, like, the best... You know what you were? You were probably, like, in another lifetime, if reincarnation's real, I bet you were the village's best minstrel. You minstrate better than anyone I've ever seen. No, like the musicians, they have the lute.
You know what? I bet you're right. And it was definitely Celtic music. There's something about that just, like, touches my soul.
Celtic, like Scottish, right? Like, Celtic is, like, the Scottish ancestry, right?
I mean...
Yeah, it is. For sure it is. I'm going to say it is. I'm probably wrong, but I'm going to say it is.
It's more Irish.
Can we share it?
I think that we can... Look, there's a lot of shared Irish-Scottish DNA. Like, just a ridiculous amount. But...
I kind of thought they were the same thing until I was, like, in my 20s. I'm not proud of that.
Do you know what's messed up? It's like that the 23andMe, or it's either 23andMe or one of those, like, DNA tests, because my brother got one for us.
Ancestry or something.
One of the, but, like, the one where you, like, spit on something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, but they consider English, Irish, and Scottish all the same thing.
Yeah.
Which...
European.
Yeah, but it's not. And the Irish people get really
I'm sure everybody does.
Upset about it. No.
Not like the Irish?
No.
Does anyone get upset like the Irish get upset?
No. They get...
That's their charm, right? The fighting Irish. That's like part of their thing.
Listen. Okay.
It's good.
Oh, because you're Scottish.
So here's the thing. You bring up the Ancestry.com thing. Can I tell you, Ancestry.com, 23andMe, the whole spit test, I've learned... Can I tell you something? I've learned more about myself through spit...
As have I.
Than I ever thought was going to be possible. I found out my entire life, I've been going around telling everybody, I'm just so, like, fucking Italian, right? Which I am. My mom's side of the family are the Mazzolas. Very Italian. It's almost mozzarella. It's so Italian.
Yeah.
The Mazzolas. However, I go ahead and I go spit on this fucking stick and I mail it into a stranger to definitely not collect my DNA for cloning. And turns out, like, 10% Italian, 25% Scottish. That's a quarter.
That's a lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know, and you do look very Italian. You
right?
do.
It's the dark hair.
The dark hair, the dark eyes. You have a really great bone structure, and your nose. I might be. Sorry, I burped. I might be doing a racism right now, but your nose is a little bit like sharper than what I view Scottish noses to be. Because all right, so I'm
not
Scottish.
Sharp as my mind. My mind's so sharp, I fuck around, cut my head off.
Yeah, so is your chin.
Lil Wayne. What? My chin sharp?
Yeah, you have a really sharp chin.
Thanks.
No, it's great.
So, your body hurts this week.
So bad. So bad. Do you see that? It's not... Okay, this isn't as impressive as my Muay Thai.
That's pretty good. That's a very specific spot to have a bruise.
Yeah.
Why do you have a bruise right there?
I was doing the tumbleweeds. What are they called? What is it? The nosedives. I was nosedive. Was it? No? Is that not it? That it was I was running and I was diving and it's a specific run and a jump.
Why were you doing these crazy maneuvers?
Because I'm training for an action role. Am I allowed to say what it is?
No, of course you're not.
Okay.
You're bad at this. This can't be an ongoing theme where we're never going to get work. We're just going to break NDAs.
No, not true. Listen, okay, here's the thing. Come after me, you know what I
mean? No, we don't have enough pull or money yet for them to come after us. I'm with you. I like the rebel spirit.
No, but here's what I'm saying. Okay, it's our homies. So they didn't give me an NDA yet, right? However, I get hit. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. It's rude. I'm not going to do it.
Can't say that.
I know, but you're gonna bleep. We own this. Is our show.
I want you to know something. I want you to know something. You know I'm gonna bleep it out, right?
Yeah.
Right? But knowing I'm gonna bleep it out means you just gave me so much more work.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Why would you do that to me? It's really sick though. You're gonna be so great.
You're gonna be so
great. So to elaborate, let me check my. Sorry.
Stop.
Let me check my notes real quick.
Stop. You know I wanted to marry Harry Potter, right? You did know that. That's my dream man right there. Not Daniel Radcliffe, but Harry, specifically Potter. Daniel Radcliffe's great too, but like Tyler Tackett, so much better.
Sounds like he's gonna be boy who died. So let me check my notes here. You are training for an action role.
Yeah.
So what does that entail? So I'm assuming that means action. Like, are you driving a bunch? Is it like martial arts?
So this is gonna be more martial arts.
More martial arts. More martial with a T. Arts. Great. So more martial arts. So, is there a specific martial art that you've been training?
Well, we've been working on Muay Thai a lot.
You have been taking Muay Thai.
Yeah, we've been taking Muay Thai for a minute. But when we trained with Tim the other night, it was kind of like throw all that out the window. So I was like trying to stand all proper and stuff, and like have my stance.
So here's what we're doing. Like, there's a method to the madness. You do have this really dope role coming up, and it's a role that's going to entail. You're going to take a lot.
It's going to be
There's a lot of pressure on it. A lot of pressure on it. You're going to do great. But in order for you to do great, we're going to set you up for success. And the way that we're doing that is initially we had you training in Muay Thai, because I think
you should really know how to fight. Like, if you're going to do it,
do it
right. So, I don't know. I would love to do more action, but I think moving forward, I would like to do it right.
Well, I think the way that you do that is that's why I was so adamant about you doing taking like Muay Thai, and not necessarily Muay Thai, but any actual martial art, like get in an actual like dojo, right? just so happens that I train at a really great Muay Thai spot, Mair.
You're fantastic.
Mair, yeah. Dan Mair.
So
It's his spot. He's
the best, by the way. He's so nice.
He was inducted into the Martial Arts Hall of Fame recently. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and he's like
we were
our
in Texas
age.
when that happened.
Yeah, no, I wish we could have been there. But he's our age. How great is that?
Wait, is he really?
Yeah.
He has a whole family.
Yeah. And he opened like a great gym and stuff. But point being, I think you can always tell, like when you watch back a film or watch back anything, if the person who's doing the action has actually spent time, and not just like I went to a couple of boxing classes or kickboxing or karate classes or jiu-jitsu. I went to a couple in preparation for this. You can learn a lot, but you can, and it's not to say they won't turn into a great performance. A lot of times they do. However, I do think you can tell the difference in somebody who who's actually learned like what it means to use their body in a very damaging way. And then what you do is you take that information and just your natural way of a stance, a confidence you have when you're getting ready to fight somebody, you take that and then you start incorporating the flair. The good thing about you, what I've really enjoyed in training with you is, and getting you ready for this, is because you have such a fantastic dancing background, you're incredibly flexible, giggity. You're incredibly flexible. You're very athletic. Very athletic, great body awareness, and those are all things that it's really hard to teach, especially the older you get, right?
Yeah.
So
it's like impossible. No, if somebody has bad body awareness, I had a really good friend that I used to like. We would work out together a lot, and I used to do a lot of my workouts. I was like, look, when you're really skinny, it's more about toning.
Yeah.
So I would do these workouts that these like ballet beautiful workouts is what they were called.
Okay.
And they're hard.
Ballet's hard. I imagine. I've never done ballet, but I imagine it's incredibly hard.
You would actually, honestly, if that was something, if your life had taken a different path, you would have done really well in ballet.
I'm gonna say this. I appreciate that, and I understand what it is that you're trying to say to me, or you are saying to me. I appreciate that, and truthfully, I wish. I grew up in like small town Texas, so you play football and you shut the fuck up, but about artsy shit. But I wish, in retrospect, I would have done things like ballet and piano and things like that. Yeah. And I think I was fortunate enough that I think if I would have shown an interest in those things at a young age, my family would have supported it. But anyway, I digress.
Martial arts and stuff.
If there was another life where I did anything else, let's be real, we know what it would be.
You would have done ballet.
What?
Yeah.
No, I was going to say professional wrestler, which I think everybody would agree with. It's stunts, it's acting, everybody's looking at me, which is like my favorite thing. And it's like over the top, which I've been told is my acting style. The amount of times I've been told, Tyler, listen, I'm going to need you to bring it down. That is so unbelievable. But then, and I know you've heard the same thing, here's the thing. We're like that in real life, too. We're big personalities.
Look, it's not hard to look, it comes down to, with that, I think we're getting a little bit off topic, but it's fine. We are big, so we have, like, big facial expressions. We're just big, we are. Like, our facial expressions are huge. I think it's worked for me and not worked for me. So and my agents were always being like, so commercially I did fantastic. I did really well.
Well, commercials are naturally a little bit bigger.
They're bigger. It's big smile, happy.
Also, do you think coming from doing so much music and doing like music videos and being on tour and stuff, do you think it's an easier because film is so like intimate and sometimes smaller in performance. So with music and stage performance, it's as big as possible. You're playing to the back of the room, right? So do you think it was an easier transition going from that into commercial into
No, it was
film?
just it was what I got booked for first because that's just
we have a great look, but I'm curious if like
I was getting booked on headshots and music video reels as opposed to having acting reels because I didn't really do that. But like No, I always completely separated them. Acting is very, we can be really intense, and it's not hard to be small when it's a believable situation. Mm-hmm. So what I get hired for a lot, and what I'm known for a lot, and basically how I make my living is with through platforms that are very popular that a lot of people watch, but it's very unbelievable scripts. Like, no one would ever talk like that. That's not a conversation someone would ever have.
You're saying on the
like a lot of the vertical stuff that I've been doing and like the soap opera-y type of things.
Okay.
Yeah, so what I get hired for mainly, and that's why I'm bigger. But if you put me in a real film, which we've done together, I've done other ones where it's like, no, it's just let's have a moment between you and this other human. It's very easy to be that. Now, mind you, I still have certain big characteristics when I feel like it, when that's the emotion that that the character is feeling, which is what I'm feeling, mm-hmm. you know? And so it's going to come out and it's going to be a little bit bigger. So if you want a mousy character, they don't hire me. They won't hire me because I'm not going to give mouth. That's not me. I have a big mouth. I have a big nose. I have big eyes. I have big expressions. I have big eyebrows. Everything about me is kind of big. It just is what it is. I can diet down and I can make it human. But if you want small and kind of like if you want something, if you don't want this, then you don't want this. You know what I mean? Like, mm-hmm. There's like like Denzel has a certain look. He's got a certain look. You're not going to hire him as like somebody to kind of play a smaller role. Let him shine in what he does. You know, there's certain, and I'm not comparing myself to Denzel Washington, but I'm just saying, like, you know what you're hiring. Mm-hmm. So, okay, cool. If that's the lane, then it is what it is. You know, I would love to be able to do more.
You do. I think you're selling yourself a little bit short, or I don't think you are. Maybe the better way to say it is, I think what's very I think what's very admirable, and really cool about you that I actually take a lot of inspiration from, because I haven't always been very good at this. It's very difficult. Is you are very malleable as an actor. You are able to be very present in the performance and with the material that you're given, but you're also at the same exact time, it's like two parts of your brain working at the same time. You're able to look at the situation around you. You understand the content. You understand the theme and the tone of what it is that you're doing, and you adjust accordingly. And what's great about you talk about your big features and whatever, and that's one way to put it, I guess. You have a big, beautiful smile, and you have striking eyes. I know it's uncomfortable for me to compliment you, but just sit there and let it happen. You do. You have a wonderful, inviting smile and eyes, and what's great about you is you're so beautiful, but you're able to, at the same time, not be afraid to make a fool of yourself, which is what all of our friends do. You're able to look at whatever the material is and like I said, adjust accordingly, which I think is the mark of a very talented actor. You find the honesty even in the most absurdity, which is in fact our job. So, yeah, you can, on one hand, it can be what it is, but at the same time, I think flowers where flowers are due. You do the job well, and at the end of the day, the thing we strive for is to be able to make what we love, the thing that inspires us, our art form or whatever, make it into the thing that pays our bills. You can only do that if you're able to navigate the job side of it. Yeah. And I've struggled with that in my career. You have excelled in it. Well, so it's all how you look at it, I suppose, but.
Literally, exactly.
Take pride in all of it.
You said I wanted to make this make acting my full-time job.
You did.
Right? You
did. That's what you do. You have done it.
But I'll be honest. I don't have a college education. I know you don't either. But.
Okay, nobody was asking what my education was. You didn't have to bring it up.
We brought it up last episode.
Well, I don't know why we're bringing it up again. Why are you bringing up old shit?
So
that was last episode.
I don't have a college education. Which is fine, but I don't actually have, because I've thought about it, I don't actually have, when I thought that I might need it, I don't actually have, like, an actual work history. Mm-hmm. So, I went straight from high school during high school into music. So, right. I had a record deal, and I was doing that, right? Now, mind you, was I working and, like, operating things, and I owned a studio, and I was doing all sorts of different stuff, but that doesn't really count on paper, right? So I've never had, technically, a real job. And then I had a big falling out with my label and label reps and management and stuff, and I decided to completely flip, and that's when it literally was like, okay, I'll start acting, I'll do commercial work. I got to figure out a way to make this work while I'm trying to kind of pivot. I was trying to secure, like, a different situation with a different label, and honestly, acting just took over my life. I wasn't expecting that to happen. I was thinking that...
What do you mean it took over your life? Did it take over your life because you were like, oh, this is something I've been looking for? Did it take over your life and it was just required a lot of your time?
No, it was literally like the universe was like, well, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Uh-huh. So every door just started opening. And I felt bad about it because I didn't feel like I deserved it. I didn't put in the work that actors do. Now, mind you, did I put in other work in another side of the industry? Abso-friggin-lutely.
I would argue that you did. Here's the thing. What we do in our real life is echoed in our art, and vice versa, right? So I think the misconception is that if you don't have some kind of formal training or informal training, just training in general, then you are not either as qualified or deserving or however you want to phrase it. When it comes to all art forms, not to get all fucking granola on you, but if we're going to have the conversation, when it comes to all art forms, art is supposed to be representative of life. It's supposed to take me as the artist. I have my own singular view of the world. I'm the only me that has ever existed in the history of ever, from the dinosaurs to the Romans to the Civil War to now. I'm the only me that has ever lived. I'm the only me with my experiences. I'm the only me with every single second, every single fragment of every moment of every second of my life. I'm the only me. And all of those things have formulated my opinion and my view. They have sculpted what my view is of the world, right? And because of that, if I'm able to channel my view of the world in a way that can be projected in some art form, whether it be music or, in my case, film and storytelling in that way, or for some people painting, some people cooking, whatever the case may be, I'm the only me that can ever fucking do that, right? Mm-hmm. So, point of that being, with you can say, look, I feel like I didn't do this, that, or the other, but again, you're selling yourself fucking short, because here's the deal, man. You were brave enough at the beginning, from the get-go, you're brave enough to say, no, I want something outside of the typical status quo, what my life has dictated, my life and my address and my family has dictated. I want more. I have a voice. I have things I want to put out in the world. And at first, you channeled that through music. And then you took those same experiences, the highs and the lows, okay, have all influenced your view on the world, which has sculpted your art. The thing that makes you an artist is that you're brave enough to, again, project that view in the world. And whether it comes out in painting, in performance on film, music, it doesn't fucking matter, okay? You were having the experiences, you were growing as a human, and then you're brave enough to show up earnestly in whatever art form it is that you're doing. So you did have training. Just because someone didn't stand in front of a room and tell you this is how it's done does not mean that you didn't get the training.
Well,
you know?
To be fair, I don't disagree with you at all in that.
Right.
So, because, our last episode, we talked about, or didn't really talk about it, but just kind of gave our opinions, or my opinion, really, of acting classes. And the reason why and that's legitimately one of the reasons why I didn't feel like it was necessary for me to even take classes. Uh-huh. It was like, look, I do this. I know how to entertain. I know how to connect with another human. Uh-huh. That's that's probably, if we strip it all down, that's what I'm good at. That's what sets, that's what gives me
the connection.
That's what I'm good at. Whether it's, and I love expressing it musically, but that was not the path for me at that time. I would love for it to come back at some point, but I don't know. I do find a lot of joy in creating art in different forms now that I know how to do it, When I was doing commercial work, I wasn't satisfied because it wasn't artistically fulfilling for me. It was just me being in front of a camera and they're being like, oh, be pretty, be happy, and like say your lines and cool, and it's done.
Sell the product.
Yeah. and that's not, and it's fine. And I it's really cool being on set. It's
and
really,
honestly, some of them are really fun and artistic. Like
true.
Sometimes and I think it's in the last like 10 years. It's been like kind of trendy to get real artsy with like commercial stuff because you have to.
And it's fun. But
how do you keep an audience's attention,
Yeah, and that's cool. But I like to tell stories. That's why I like to write songs. Sure. I wasn't an artist who people wrote songs for me. I was the songwriter. I'm the creator. It's the story that I want to tell, that I want to narrate, that I want to make people feel. That's powerful to me. And I will always appreciate a really good singer and a really good, dancer, and I'll always appreciate that. But a good songwriter is a different thing. That's a.
Why do you think that is?
Because they're speaking the. There's, when you're a really good singer, people hear that they hear that and they're like, oh God, that resonates with me. I love that tone, and that's a gift, and that's beautiful. But when the words match the tone, that is like. It's so powerful. It's so incredibly powerful. It's like having a great cinematographer and a great storyteller and a great actor.
It just kind of all comes together.
Everything comes together at the same time, and you tell the story right. And but you don't have that without a good screenplay writer. Who wrote the story? Who came up with it? And then you find the vessels to portray it. It's the same thing with music. So I don't know. I definitely wasn't fulfilled doing commercial work. I like it, and I still love it. Like, I'm down, but that's because I'm happy because I have other outlets and I have other things. Mm. And,
it's always fun to work with fun people in anything.
Yeah.
Commercial, web series, student film, theater, music. There's something very fulfilling about being around another inspired artist, because then it gives you permission to feel inspired as well. It's like that. There's this very often requoted quote that...
Often requoted quote. What?
Yeah.
Let's hear it. Let's requote it. Let's go.
Listen.
Huh?
Hey, right here. Right here.
Huh?
Hey. Say on me. There's this often requoted quote that's your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people will not feel insecure around you. We were all meant to shine as children do, and when we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same, as our willingness to shine automatically liberates others. You know what I mean? And so there is something, I think that really, for me at least, on top of just naturally wanting to tell stories and having that drive in me and feeling a storyteller myself in whatever I do, I think my favorite part of what we do as a profession is that you find all these artists in so many different areas, all telling the story in their own way, whether it's costuming or whatever, all coming together for a singular vision. For a song, it's the producer and the musician. Like, you can tell if the producer and the songwriter and the artist all weren't collaborating. You can make it hit certain notes, you can make a film hit certain beats, but there is some sort of like human soul, like this, it really is a tangible thing that you'll feel is missing, and that is the beautiful thing. So when you can find that connected thing, whether it is on a commercial or a film or a student film or whatever the fuck it is, it doesn't matter. That's the sweet spot. That's why we suffer and go through all this stuff that we go through. That's what it's worth fighting for. It's great, and we found that in so many different chapters in our life. Let's go.
Yep. And then you're going to chamber that leg. Yes.
What lands better?
Roll. Kick camera.
So, you are so sore from training. I feel like we got off topic a little bit.
My body hurts. It hurts badly.
Yeah.
The last time my body hurt this bad, I rode my bike 62 miles, and I had to...
That's too many miles.
Yeah, no, way too long. It was with Mark Solomon and Justin Kelly.
Solo music?
Solo music.
Let's
yeah,
go.
yeah. And we went... I rode my bike from Mid-City to Hollywood, from Hollywood to Santa Monica, up to Malibu, down to Culver City, into Marina Del Rey, and back. That's not how you do it.
If you're not from LA, I don't think you really understand what that entails.
And
that's
then all the way back
a
to
lot.
Hollywood. And then we rode all the way back to Hollywood, and then I only had my bike, so I had to ride my bike back home to Mid-City.
How sore are your legs?
I stood to pee. Like, I stood like a man to pee.
Uh-huh. Wait, forward or backwards? Did you hover?
I
Or
didn't know. There was no hovering. I couldn't
straddled?
hover. I couldn't straddle. No, I stood over the toilet like a man.
But what I'm asking is, are you so you're facing the bowl.
Facing the toilet. Facing the bowl.
Nice.
And I just stood over it for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, pooping was a problem.
No kidding.
It was a problem.
I believe it. Just sitting down and having
But you
to
couldn't sit. It was atrocious.
Yeah.
What is that?
Huh?
What is that?
What? No, you're pooping. So it was hard to squat down.
Yeah, no, squatting was like not a thing. That was are you? Stop.
I don't.
Oh no.
I don't understand what's so funny. We've made it very clear that we're professional actors, and this is a very normal thing for a professional actor man.
You were supposed to, the point of putting those on though is to look good on camera.
It's important to use the rest of the juice on your neck.
Who told you that? I did.
I'll never reveal my sources. I'm not a snitch. You know where I'm from? You've probably not heard this before. You're from Boston, but where I'm from, snitches get stitches.
I'm not from Boston.
Smell that. Why would you do that? You're way too trusting. Don't ever do that. Have I taught you nothing? So you're really sore from training.
Yeah.
Bad.
Like, bad.
So we got you into Muay Thai.
Mm-hmm.
Which was very important because with Muay Thai, boxing, fantastic art. Kickboxing, fantastic art. Boxing, 2 weapons. Kickboxing, 4 weapons. You know what's dope about Muay Thai? It is the art of 8 limbs. 8 weapons.
Including
hands.
elbows.
Exactly.
Okay, you can tell all of them, but I knew that, so.
No, you're exactly right. It's hands, tootsers,
tootsies,
knees, and elbows, head, shoulders, knees, and toes. So I think that's why you see a lot of Muay Thai and
singing that song. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Can we edit? That's what I want to see. I want to see a bunch of edits to like Muay Thai fighters, and it's the song in the background.
Bunch of
Head,
edits.
shoulders, knees,
yeah, let me make a
toes,
note. Send that to our editor. Hey, editor, that we're definitely hiring and doing all the work for us, so we don't do all of it by ourselves. Hey, you other person, definitely there behind camera. Would you make a note, because this is your only job, to add in yet, I believe, another edit where in this one you find an old nursery rhyme, head, shoulders, you know the one.
And it's all, but you gotta match it. You gotta match it with the Muay Thai. So head hit, friggin' shoulders, knees get kneed, and toes. We gotta get the teep in there. The teep!
Let's fucking go. Listen, I know right there I was definitely being a dick to you, but I want to say I'm because we don't have anybody there. I am definitely, listen, I am so proud of you for knowing teep. Good girl.
Baby, of course I know teep.
Of course you do. You've been doing, honestly, you've been doing Muay Thai now for like 6 months, at least.
Yeah.
You know?
Really enjoy it. I don't like sparring. I don't enjoy that. It scares me. I don't like it at all.
Isn't it crazy when you stand in front of somebody? Like, everyone's
No.
Everyone's a fucking hard ass.
I don't like it.
Until
I don't like it.
That was tucked into my little pants the whole time.
It's okay.
It's not okay. Can I tell you why? I'll tell you why. Where it was tucked in and where that's framed, I'm sure you guys already know. You could see a little bit of belly pudge coming over the pants. It was very instrategic of me. So I'm gonna loosen this up like that.
Why do you think that I tie this right at like my so I'm wearing my workout clothes again, essentially, except for not this, but like
not my shirt.
It's not your shirt.
No.
But these are like my workout shorts and they have like a cinch at the waistline, but then it makes like the pooch pop out and then it also like cuts off at the tummy. So I wear this around my waist so I don't have to worry about that. Also, it's my cape and I feel cool wearing it. And when we were doing our workouts the other day at Tempest, it made me feel like, you know, a superhero when I was flying over stuff. It was very fun.
Okay, listen.
I just spilled on myself.
You have a drinking problem. You're terrible at it. Yo, how many points do I get if I can sling this thing and it sticks to the wall?
Let's see. 10.
10 points?
Yeah.
All right. 10 points for Gryffindor. Ha! 10 points for Gryffindor. Yes!
Yes!
Ah! Ugh!
Ah!
Staying there the whole episode.
The
So
whole
you're
time.
really sore because you've been doing Muay Thai.
No, I'm not sore from Muay Thai. It was from training with you and Tim. You took me to the Tempest gym, which was nuts.
Tempest is where, just for context, Tempest is where a lot of the, not only stunt performers for pretty much any show or anything, a lot of the LA stunt performers train out of Tempest. Also, it's where a lot of the folks based in LA or come to LA for Ninja Warrior.
Oh.
Yeah. So we threw you to the wolves the other night. You got your first. So here's, I mentioned it earlier. There's been a process, right? Like first, I wanted you to.
I farted. We have to take that out.
Hey, Eddie, editor Eddie. Hey, editor Eddie, guy, definitely guy on our payroll. Can you edit out? Can you edit out?
Oh my god!
Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something? The amount of trust you're gonna have to have in me, because I could make the decision to not edit that out and just not tell you.
It might be funny and it'll be fine. But like, okay, so the other day, so sweet.
I was about to get so like deep into.
You have to tell the story. Sarah and I are doing our makeup. We're on set together and we're in the she's in the bathroom, right? And she calls me out. And so the AD is calling for us. Mind you, we had like horrific makeup artists. Like they were doing our makeup really bad. So we were like, all right, we got to do this ourselves. Because they were like, all right, we'll put some powder on you. But we're like, where's the concealer? What? Like, you know, so we went into
There was
the bathroom.
nothing concealed?
No, nothing concealed. It was bad. And we were supposed to be hot. And we were supposed to be in college, which we're not. So, like, we were like, no, we gotta work on this. So we went in the bathroom. And she's like, all right, you gotta leave. So I did. And then she's like, I get a call on my phone. Mair, I need help. Come in here. And I was like,
no! Oh no! What happened?
Okay, so I went in there. So the toilet wasn't flushing. It was the location that we were shooting at was at a house, and their plumbing wasn't working, right? And she's like, "What do I do?" And the AD assistant director is banging on the door, telling us to come out. And we were like, "Just hold on a second, we'll be there." And I'm wearing a bodysuit, right, underneath to like suck everything in so that I can look like a cinched 20-year-old.
Okay.
And we're rushing, so we finally get the toilet. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to take a pee. And the AD's rushing us so bad that I...
Losing his fucking mind, or their mind. Her mind, I'm sorry. Losing her mind.
That I zip it up, but I pulled a There's Something About Mary. Like...
You wiped cum in your hair?
No, I zipped my clit up, dude. It was the most atrocious pain I've ever experienced, and Sarah had to try and unzip it for me. And we're like, ah! And the AD's outside the door like, we need you on set. And she's like, there's a fucking emergency from underneath my legs. Like, I need help. And she's like underneath me, like looking up, trying to fucking fix it. And the AD is there, and she's literally under, like she has one of my legs in her hands, and then she's screaming at the AD with the other, like, won't be there! It was so bad. So that's just a Hollywood story. I'm sorry. It came up. I had to bring it up. I'm sorry. We can get back on track.
Did it come up? Did it?
We're talking about like pooping or farting. I farted. That's what happened. I farted.
Full circle. Anyway, so you're getting ready for this really dope, awesome action role.
Yes.
And you've center.
Okay.
So we took you to Tempest, where a lot of stunt performers train, a lot of intentional warriors, and we did kind of throw you to the wolves. But I have to say, it's your dancer background, the fact that you have been very dedicated to Muay Thai and the other stuff that we've been kind of putting you through. You showed up at your first day at Tempest, and not to, toot your tutor, but like, because you're clearly doing enough of that, you're on your own. In the comedy world, we call that a callback. Anyway, so you're at Tempest.
Yeah.
Tempting fate, much like you're doing with your underwear. Sorry, last one. That was.
Now we have to keep it in. We have to keep the fart in. We can't cut it out.
Eddie the editor, make a note. So you're at Tempest, and
Yeah. Dora's podcast.
So, one of us is trying to be professional. Okay. All right. So we've got you there, and I've been training you, just you and me, for a minute. However, it is a different thing when you bring someone else into the mix. Now, we bring in one of my best friends, Tim Neff, fantastic actor, stunt performer, years of experience, very, very, very gifted, and just all around good dude. Kind of the guy that got me into everything, right? So we take you to this gym.
Mm-hmm. I don't think anybody like made me aware that I knew that it was like hardcore, but like.
It's hardcore, but it's welcoming. It's cool, but
nice.
it's intimidating, man. We didn't really. I didn't want to freak you out. But
I went there in pigtails.
As you should. And you know what else you did in pigtails? You threw tornado kicks, butterfly kicks.
Yeah.
You were learning dive rolls.
Yep. That's what they're called.
Yeah. No, you knew. I think you called them that. You were son of a bitch, dude. We got you doing wall runs.
The knee spins.
Knee spins.
Those were my favorites.
Oh man, I've got some really cool ideas for some stuff. So we basically took you through where this particular project is.
One-handed cartwheels.
We're working up to the aerial.
Yeah, that's gonna take some time.
Aerials, like, you know, the cartwheel without any hands, but you're halfway there. Whoa! Jump on.
I gotta get better at jumping though, dude. I gotta get some air on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I can jump really well, then I'm not scared as much. But there's a lot of me too close to the ground at this point. So I feel like
it's weird. It's like you think like some of the basic stuff and like stunt performing and some like the parkour stuff, like even the basics of like vaults and stuff, like even the little things like a little safety vault or something, like just like where you're kind of just stepping over it, you think would be a lot easier than it is, or like little things with we took you through like reaction drills, like I throw a punch and you react and we have to get the timing down. Even doing little things like that, like it'll your neck will get super sore. It's more taxing on the body than you think. You learn falls, and dude, we were there from like 8 to 11
p.m.
Yeah. Yeah. And at our age, that is a task.
And then we stayed up till 2 drinking beer. So.
And being like, wasn't that cool? And working on the podcast, I guess. But no, it was cool. We were there for like 3 hours, and I have to, like, I said it in the last episode, but one of the big things for me is I have a vetting process for anyone that's going to do stunts. Like, not everyone needs to be a stunt performer. Actors are often, and very, very often, required to do very physical things. And if you're going to do it, if that's going to be a part of the job, be fucking proficient at it, right? And everybody wants to look cool doing the action stuff. It's fun, you know? But not everyone wants to show up and do the work that isn't on camera, you know?
Yeah.
And you did.
Well, no, it is. It's fun. Honestly, I had the best time. I had so much fun.
Right? It's like a big grown-up playground.
It's a big grown-up playground. I'm sure I looked like an idiot. There were tons of people there who like do this, and they were probably like, but I didn't feel so bad because you and Tim are so good at what you do.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they were younger, so it was like, they probably are like, what is that fucking YouTuber doing here? And I was like, I'm trained for a movie, bitch. You know, like,
yeah.
I'm doing something real cool. Yeah, just wait and see.
Watch this tornado kick.
Yeah. So I didn't really care. I was having the best time, and you don't feel it in a moment because like the adrenaline is so high, but it's hard. Like, it is, your body doesn't move the way that you guys, it's so well, you guys are so good at what you do to where you make it look, and for you guys it is easy. It doesn't mean that it's not taxing on your body, but it's easy for you.
Well, we've just been doing it a long time.
Well, yeah, because you're professionals. But I'm like, oh, they make it look really good. And then you run up to this like object that you're supposed to jump over that's like at your chin, and you're like, they just flew over it like, you know, like
that
little,
is the noise
little,
we
like
make,
it's like a little squirrel, like.
But like a badass squirrel.
Like a badass squirrel. Be like,
wow, that's nuts.
Anyways, I would run up to it, and then I would, like, get to it, and I'd be like, wait, no, let me take it back. I wasn't prepared. Let me take it back.
But, with that being said, you did, like, kind of fucking crush it, man. We threw a lot of information at you, you know. For this particular thing, like, there's gonna be a lot asked of you. And I don't know. I don't want to dwell on it too much, but I do really, really commend your commitment, because 3 hours of a training session, and not to mention, like, we've been having you, like, lifting weights, your diet's changed as we sit here and drink beer, but we'll address that when we get closer to the shoot date. But no, you're really showing up and like, putting in the work, so, and I think it'll show on screen. You know, so kudos to you. I'm really proud of you. You did a good job.
Cheers, kid.
Cheers, kid. Here's looking at you, kid.
Here's looking at you, kid. Said all my Boston relatives.
I have an audition tomorrow, or callback tomorrow, where I have to do a Jersey accent, but not just like a Jersey accent from like the 80s, and I can do it. That's fine, but I think, dude, I have such a hard time. There's certain, and tell me if you can relate, but there's certain accents that may not sound anything alike, but they something when I do it turns me. So for instance, this New Jersey accent, sometimes when I do New Jersey, it wants to go Southern.
It's because one, you are technically Southern. You're from Texas.
That is true.
Texas is its own thing, but you're very close to Louisiana border.
Yeah.
So it's there's Southern charm is a real thing where people they smile more, and that's kind of why they talk like that. Is they just and then you get your hicks and shit like that, and you get them people who. But you are more like you're more that you just smile and you just say and
that's what I'm like.
No, your whole family though. Oh, Tyler! Oh my God! You brought Tyler. I have been so happy to see you. Whereas New England would be like, oh, what's up, kid? Yeah, no, it's no, you look like a good fella. So their whole faces droop more.
Okay.
It's more
okay.
It's you look like and it's technically the same accent. Like, cuz it's the same type of person. But it's a different area. So imagine somebody who's cold all the time. They're more like, they said. So like, if you got to do the Jersey, you got to think that like you and I'm not doing it particularly well, but just
so it's
frown a little bit. So what you want to do, cuz your natural go-to is to smile, and you just do that.
Dude, can I tell you something? I'm sorry you had to find out this way, but I'm not even a big smiler. I am stone cold killer. Before there was Stone Cold Steve Austin, bringing it back to wrestling, because I'm convinced I will be a wrestler.
No.
Stone Cold Tyler Tackett, they used to say. They don't say it as much anymore, but they used to.
They don't. No, you smile and you're sweet, and you just have to frown more. So like when you do.
So when it's like, hang on, can I throw something at you?
Yeah.
Can I throw? All right.
But like
This isn't the audition. This isn't the audition. But if I was like, since just you and me here, and this is a safe space, and nobody's ever gonna see this, let me try something. Okay.
Yeah, let's see it.
So it's like a New Jersey thing, right? All right.
I know.
Hang on, stop. You're not taking this. You're not taking this seriously. Hang on. I'm driving, right? That's what this is.
How old am I? Am I male or female? I know what his callback is for, so it's funny. It's funny to me because he could be.
Hey! Focus, okay? I'm in character right now. Hey, wait, hang on. You going to school on a Saturday? Yeah. That was pretty good. You were transported, right? You're like, oh, fuck, I thought I was on West Coast, Best Coast, but all of a sudden I'm back on the East.
I feel like you've done that better. And once again, what did you do with your mouth? You went, you're going to school on a Saturday?
Can I tell you why?
Because you're thinking of Rocky. Stop doing Rocky.
I want to do from now on, every audition I go to, they always say you can give 2 takes, right? So I'm going to give 2 takes. The first take, I'll give an authentic, like, my take on it. But then every other take that I do for anything from now on, I promise you, I'm going to do... What do you think? Apollo's coming in with me level. No one ever got it. This is Apollo. So they're going to get the authentic Tyler Tackett take. The Tackett takes, as they call it in the fan club that I'm starting. And then they're going to get the sly take.
Sly take?
Not like sly, like we're sneaking it in, but kind of.
Can I tell you something? So, I had a friend. He's still a very good friend. Ilya. He decided to go real method for this audition one time at Space Station Casting, which, that's where we met. Hey, listen, you're fine. And so I didn't know what he was auditioning for, but there's like all these different casting offices there, and there's a bunch of different people there for different things. So I had come out of something, and you always see people in the hallway, and you like, oh, what's up, you know? So I see him on the ground, and he's doing like this thing back and forth, and I was like, you know, and I knew it was him, so I was like, it's weird for me to just like walk past him, and I saw him look at me. So if he had totally ignored me, I just would have been like, well, he's in character, I'll go. But he did like this thing, and I was like, hey, Ellie, and he goes, hey, Mair. And I was like, oh, okay, and I just kept going, right?
Sure,
and
as you should.
So he was auditioning for like a mentally disabled character, but he decided to go into the audition room and
So method, like
full method,
like disrespectfully method.
And here's the thing about he's from Russia, and when he was born, something happened where his hands, like right here, are fused together.
Hang on, real quick. Are you telling me?
So
my boy came out of the womb with the fucking...
with guns blazing. Like, guns blazing, bro. He did. He came out the womb, guns blazing, and then he just decided to hang it like this.
Shit, dude.
Which he doesn't
so
normally
kill
do.
shot style?
Kill shot style. But, like,
Fuck.
a little limp
Like, try me. Like, I dare you.
Yeah, and he
That's
just...
thug as shit, dude.
he went in there... The note, because we have the same agent, the note that he got back was, he was great. He was really, really good.
None of us want to work with him.
However,
we're all uncomfortable.
the amount of dialogue and the amount that he would have to carry, because it's a lead role throughout the film, and it's not just like a you pop in, you pop out.
Yeah.
Like, we are not looking for actually disabled people at this moment. We are looking.
Wait, so he did so good they thought he was...
Oh, they thought he was, yeah.
Can I tell you something? In some ways, he is. That's insane. But in all fairness, again, full circle. Hey, full circle. Only the weird ones make history. One time, you want to hear a funny audition story? One time, similar thing. Actually, now that I think about it,
Space station casting.
Mm-hmm. Out of this world.
Cahuenga Boulevard.
Yep. It's a casting office that used to be super popular pre-2020.
No,
before
it
self-tapes.
closed down after...
Oh, is it actually closed down?
Yeah, it's closed. It closed during
that's
COVID.
actually kind of sad.
I know.
Any users. So, same
I got
casting
Star Wars
office.
out of there.
You got Star Wars at a space station casting.
Mm-hmm.
Can't write this shit. They wouldn't believe it. You know what's funny? I'm in Chatsworth, and for people that don't know LA, they wouldn't realize that Chatsworth to space station in downtown Hollywood, it's a galaxy far, far away.
It really is.
It really is. I had this audition one time for like I think it was for a short. And I was in this weird stage in life. I'm like in my mid-20s, and I'm trying to figure out who I am as an artist. I'm trying to do the method thing too, because you're told like that's a whole different topic that we're not going to get into tonight. We should do a whole episode on just
I did do that with Star Wars.
You got method?
Oh yeah,
really?
I thought they wanted real British actors, so
You went to England?
No, I just went in there and I was very like, I didn't say anything other than my name.
Uh-huh.
And that was kind of what the character called for, was to be a little bit like cold, so it just worked for me, but it was only because I was shy. If I went in there and was like, hey, I'm Mair, la 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 la, they wouldn't.
Can I tell you something? If you went in there like that for any audition, they'd probably think you were auditioning for that part the other guy was.
No. But I was like, I'm normally like very like friendly and blah blah blah.
Super
So
lovely.
I went in there, and until I got onto set, the producer was like, wait, so you're not really, and I was like, no. And
Nice.
they were like, oh.
That's a nice compliment.
Okay. Yeah, no, and it was
That's
dope,
great.
and they're like, and I was like, is that a problem? He's like, no, we don't care. We just wanted someone who was good, you know, and like believable. But also I gave off a little bit like, I'm too good for this, and I think that
Nice.
worked. Yeah.
I, with the same gusto and confidence, went into this audition for this short film, playing a.
Yeah.
So I go into this audition. It's for the short film, and I'm supposed to play this guy who is a. I forget the term, but the guy that's like the kind of person who's they don't like leaving their house. A Ninja Turtle? No, they're from the sewers.
What?
No, the ones that are like it's like an actual.
Nymphomaniac. No.
Nope. The ones that are afraid of leaving the house. So you know.
Yeah,
what
but
I'm
it's
talking
like
about.
a nympho.
It's a phobia. It's not. It's not an info, but it is a phobia.
We know though. We know what it is.
Either way,
Yeah.
my boy is afraid to leave his house. And so he just walks around in his underwear all the time.
Did you go in there? And
I didn't go in there in my underwear, but here's what I did. It's like a short film,
Stop.
right? It's probably some people just like us trying to
No.
get their dreams off the ground,
Mm-hmm.
right? God bless them. They saved up money and they rented a spot in casting. And here I come, fully clothed. I get in there, and it specifically said they walked around in his whitey tighties. I don't wear whitey tighties. I'm more of a briefs guy.
Yeah.
But I went and bought some like Fruit of the Loom fucking like whitey tighties, right? And I roll into this audition. I walk in, and Space Station's like these little office rooms, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I get in there, and it's just two guys like my age, and they're sitting on the other side of this table, and the other side of this like 12 by 12 room. And they're like, okay, cool, whenever you're ready. And they got a little handy cam, and they set it up, and they hit go action. I'm like, okay. Like such an asshole. I'm like, one moment. And I'm like, okay. So I turn around, and I proceed to take all of my clothes off. Down to my fucking skivvies, dude. My whitey tighties, man. And I turn around and I look at these guys, and I am so fucking. I've been listening to like. I made a playlist. I was listening to the right music, you know, on the way to the audition. I get in there, and then I proceed to do this long fucking monologue where they just have to sit there with this other strange man and watch me sit in front of their camera in my underwear. And not like a cool pose either. I'm doing that thing where like when you sit down, like your tummy pooches out no matter how ripped you are. Like your tummy fucking will pooch out a little bit. And you're like sitting there kind of like uncomfortable. It's not a flattering angle. And I'm just in my tighty whities and I'm delivering this monologue to camera about, and it's deep, it's well written. And I'm giving it my all. And I swear to God, 1 of 2 times in my life I've gotten this. They look at me and they go, okay, well thank you so much for coming in. And I know to this day.
That's never good.
To this day.
That's so bad.
I guarantee they still tell that story.
What you doing?
Well, I got hired to help write a feature. And so right now, I'm in kind of the story building, brain splash kind of outlining part. And I don't do this for all the movies that I do, but for this one, I decided to go back to the flashcard method as I'm outlining. And basically what you do is each flashcard represents a scene, right? And you want to keep it like super... like short, rough, just bullet points. Like, so this would be like an opening scene. So it would be like, opening scene, maybe say like interior, exterior, where it is. And then on the back, I write a short description of what happens in the scene. And then I also at the bottom write like what's the key like emotion or the subtext of whatever that scene is. Put that down there. And then what you do, and you don't have to go in order, it's just any scene that you think of, right? And then you start putting it on your board, and what that does is you're able to visually see like where there's parts of your story missing, Maybe some plot holes. You can actually, because they're on postcards, you can move shit around. And it's just a good way to, when you're outlining, have something kind of visual in front of you while you're building. Don't fuck around if you don't want to find out, you know? My papa used to say that. You know what my papa also used to say?
What? Yeah.
YOLO. You know what that means?
You only live once.
I forgot I introduced you guys. Yeah, you guys come back to Texas and meet the fam.
Yeah,
He would have said that to you.
Your family's great.
They're the best, right?
No, they're actually fantastic. The fact that it's well, it's puzzling that you came out of them, because they're all, it makes sense, but it doesn't. Like, you just have this artist spirit that was like, I want to fly and go. But where you're from, like, they all live relatively close to each other, and it's a big family, and everybody is pretty close by, and they all are very, like, close-knit. And you were like, no, I have to go. But you're also very close. You talk to everybody every day.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I moved to Los Angeles when I was 20 years old. I'm 34 now, at the time of recording this. I moved to LA when I was 20 years old. Up until that point, I had never left my small little town. It's such a Hollywood cliche. My family is really close. And, you know, the hardest thing about doing what we do, and I know you can relate, is not necessarily the day-to-day with the auditions. That stuff's hard. And the rejection, our profession for a good portion becomes rejection. That's hard, but you can handle it. What's really hard, at least for me, has been away from my people. You know, the things that make you you. It's very, very difficult. We are very close, and they're fantastic, and the best. I am the culmination of the best parts of the best people I ever met. And yeah, it is a fucking blessing. They're fantastic. But it's hard. But, I mean, to tie it back into kind of, I guess, this and what the inception of why we wanted to do this was, you and I both have those same kind of stories. I mean, we, outside of you and a couple, like, I can think, maybe your cousin Patrick is the writer, is probably the only other artist that I really know, and that's kind of a newer venture for him, right?
It is, yeah. So my
book just came out, or?
His book just came out. He has a book called Sons of Brunos. It's a fantasy novel, and it's supposed to be kind of like a Game of Thrones type of vibe.
Oh man.
No, and the reviews have been really good. Like, it's a good book. And it's so strange because growing up, there's kind of like this weird separation. So our family is very New England. His family is very Boston, or his, like, you know, his mom and his dad, they live in Boston. They spend their summers in Ireland, like that. And it's kind of like you choose a certain road, you know what I mean? Or what you would think, like, that's what our family kind of does. It's like, okay, you're either in banking, or you're a lawyer, or banking or lawyer, really.
Okay.
Like, that's what you do.
Yeah.
So to choose an artistic outlet, which, you know, he has a day job, but I don't think he's going to have to, I don't think he's going to have to rely on it for long. And his dad, who, my Uncle Paul, is wonderful. He's always been somebody who I've been like, he was one of my favorite uncles growing up, because he just was like so fun-loving and stuff. And you met Paul.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah.
We had dinner at where did we go?
Tony P's.
Tony P's, that's right. Yeah, we're chilling in the bar. Yeah.
With him fun. And Matt, my Uncle Matt, and my
Tommy and Mom and Dad.
Yeah, but they all chose a very, like, the generation before us took, like, such a traditional route that it just doesn't seem like a feasible thing, and I was very much like an outcaster to the family for a very long time, so I didn't really get to know him. I didn't get to know Patrick and his brother Paul growing up very well until like they kind of grew up and became their own, and I didn't realize that, like, you know, Patrick had like this artistic heart, you know, and his dad's really proud of him, like, which is
awesome.
wild. Like, you wouldn't, you know,
when someone does something out of the norm, especially if you have like a family that stands on a certain preset sort of values or whatever, you know, the ones that step out of that, there's this thing where it's like, I'm not a fucking parent, but I have to imagine there is this balancing act between what was instilled in you and your beliefs and your approach to life and all that, and how you want to pass that on to the next generation, but also wanting to be supportive of this new person you've created.
Yeah.
And if they are different, and that's got to be a difficult kind of crossroads to come at. So kudos to any parent that can like support that, because I'm sure it's not easy.
Yeah, and you know, I think it's wild, because it's kudos to supporting it, but it's also them kind of realizing, like, it's one thing to realize your kid has talent. And Patrick is an adult at this point. Like, he's in his 20s. He's good. Like, he has another career. He self-funded the book. He has, like, an audio book out that's on Amazon that you can buy. And he self-funded
So this isn't
everything.
his first, like, rodeo?
No, this is his first rodeo, but he did it right.
Good man.
He did it really
I
right.
see.
He did it right. And he worked really hard on it for a long time.
He hired. That's right. You told me he hired like
hired
actors.
voice actors.
Yeah, like
he did the whole thing
for the audio. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Good.
He did the whole thing, and you could, you know, as a parent, you kind of want to be like, okay, but you have this other career that's been like working for you, so maybe you should do that. But I think in this kind of day and age where it's like, but you have there's an opportunity for you to get your voice out there, and as long as you get it out there, like, it's good. People will like it, and you have the chance to have that. So it's weird. I think about that, like, would our parents, if they had, you know, social media, or if they could if they could self-distribute, would they have done that?
Maybe. I mean, the culture would have changed, right? It would have been a culture where if people started doing that, where they started just like they did with us, once that option became available, then people started doing that. If that option would have been available for them, you would think the culture would have shifted and it would have started promoting that. I think, I really believe, I truly do, I really believe that the human animal needs a couple things, and they're very basic needs. The human animal needs food, water, shelter. Obvi. Stop that right now. You stop that. Listen, you tell those eyebrows to take a smoke break. They need to chill. I'd like to mention that these guys have stuck on this wall. I
think we're just keeping them.
Okay.
Let's just keep them.
Every episode, let's add to it. Maybe not every episode.
But like whenever you...
That's so gross. Let's do it.
It's not gross. It's not gross.
Yeah.
It's not gross.
It's
art. It's not a booger.
It's not yet.
I farted.
You did. I'm glad we brought that back up. Eddie. Make a note.
Stop.
So... You're a child. I truly believe that the human animal has certain...
Can I help?
No.
Oh my god. That's such a good spot, too.
Stop. I'm trying to be deep.
Okay.
Focus.
Let me get into character. Deep?
Nice. I can see what you're doing with your eyebrows. That's good. No, in all seriousness, I really do believe that the human animal, all of us, need certain things. Food, water, shelter, sure. But they also need outs, right? Like we are humans like are creators, right? And we have this energy that we need to get out, and we need physical exertion, and then we also need a creative out.
And we do, yeah.
All of us, man. And I feel like more so recently, but for a long time that wasn't something that was nurtured. And I think we can see the side effect of that. We all need to express ourselves in one form or the other. And so, like, if it's a fantasy novel, you know, something akin to Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings, which sign me up.
Truthfully, honestly, dope. He dude, kid went hard. He went, and I call him a kid. Like, he's not a kid. But
he pays taxes.
He pays taxes
grown
like
man.
he's a grown man. But he did like animations for his novels.
Let's go. Let's go.
Like, he
Let's
really
go.
went hard. So I'm proud of him.
Everyone deserves to have a voice, whether it's something that exists complete in fantasy, whether it's something more basic. Speaking of books, my pawpaw actually wrote a book as well, and actually sitting right under here. Don't move, don't go anywhere. Guys.
We can't mess up the Fight Club.
We're not. It's gonna be great. Perfect. Look at that. Little shameless self-promotion for the family. Pawpaw wrote a book too. My Pawpaw, who has never done anything like that before, decided he was inspired and found a story that he was really into and did the exact same thing. His is more based around historical fiction, you know, so based in reality but fictionalized. But it doesn't matter. It's his voice. It's the same as with Patrick and doing something completely fancy. It's the same thing when it's you and you're doing music. It's the same thing it's the same thing when you're performing on screen, on any kind of stage. You know, it's all about us as artists expressing who we are, and that is such a vital fucking part of existing. You know, everyone, you, we all have a voice, and it is all valid, and we should all have that nurtured as much as it's worship to be successful financially, which is important. That's fine. That's important.
The key is you can be successful. You can be financially successful as an artist. I think for a long time it has been this way of looking at things because I know my family looked at me this way. It's like, oh, you want to be an artist?
Mm-hmm.
You want to be poor?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and for some people that doesn't matter, and realistically, like, that's what is poor? Can I pay my bills? Do I have good people around me? Am I happy? Can I do
like
the
that.
things that I want to do?
Yeah.
Then that's fine. But, like, you know, to be looked down on for that, as opposed to, like, okay, but art is, like, there's a reason for art.
Where do people go when they're upset?
Yeah.
Music, movies, paintings.
You can make
good food.
Dude, you can make a living doing it. You can do it, and you can be super, super successful. But there's this weird state of, like, either you're very famous and wealthy as an artist, or you're a pauper. Right. And that's not true. That's just not the truth. You can be in the middle. You can be successful, and it doesn't mean that that's your stagnant point. Like, you can be on the rise, but you can make a living doing this, and you can and sometimes make a good living, and sometimes make a fantastic living.
But it depends on your barometer, right? What's a good living?
What is it?
I think
being happy.
I think that's fucking beautiful, and I couldn't agree with you more. And I think as we do more and more of these, you know, it'll develop. But I really think that you and I are on the same page, in that we want to sit here and talk to folks and show, like, look, you can reach for the celebrity and the fame on that level, the Ryan Reynolds and the Meryl Streeps and the whoever the fuck you look up to.
Who I don't think who got to that level not by striving for it, by the way.
Yeah, right. Like, if you're looking for it, like, that's kind of weird, right? But I think what I would love for us to showcase and is what does it look like on the day-to-day. Let's have real conversations about what auditions look like and all that kind of stuff.
But it's not...
But you can have, like, a fully fledged, happy life doing this, and it doesn't have to be that celebrityism. It can be the thing that you love, and you can be a professional artist and just be...
It doesn't... Now, you don't... I think the one thing that people don't really understand about celebrity is like that is a marketing tool. And
Of course.
and that's fine.
I think most people get that.
No, I don't. Actually,
No?
I think most people like us who do this for a living understand that. Absolutely. But I don't think that most human beings on the planet understand that at all. Fame is not part of the job until it is. And it's it's not part of the job until it is. And then when it is, it's great, but it's not because you're being worshipped as like how great you are as a human or how great. It's because you are a product who has sold certain things, and you've sold enough things that are popular enough.
Your name is currency.
So your name is currency at that point. You are your face, not your name even as much as your face is currency. So having you attached to something is currency. And you going to an awards ceremony, or you doing this and that for a film that you did, like all of that it's political at that point. And that's beautiful to get to that point. I don't think that's something that should ever be looked down on, because like that, what a goal to have, like to achieve that. But at the same time, there's a lot that comes with it. And fame should never be what you're after, because most people who achieve that level of success are not looking for fame. They just really wanted to be really good at what they did, and they were, and they were parts of, and they worked really hard, and they sacrificed a lot, and if you don't reach that level, that doesn't mean that you're not successful. I know tons of really, really successful actors, people who have homes in Los Angeles, families. Like they go on vacations, they do things,
That's
they
what you
work constantly.
for.
That's what you want to strive for, and they work, and they're enjoyable. And you would see them, and you're like, I feel like I recognize that person, but I don't know from what, because they've worked, and they've done things, and their face may not be quote unquote currency yet, but their talent is. And there comes a point where it switches between your talent being the currency and your face being the currency, and that's different. It doesn't mean that one is more than the other. Obviously, like that's when agents really get involved, and lawyers really get involved for your deals, and that's when you're making money. But I don't think it's something that fame is something to be looked down upon. I think it's something to be used. But it's definitely not something to be looked for.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think at the end of the day, what you should strive for is whatever it is that you find fulfillment in, and know that whatever that thing is, it does have a seat at the table. And if you're willing to work hard and believe in it and do it for the right reasons,
then you can be
have it.
happy.
And I think that's what this whole thing is going to stand for. And I'm going to try really hard, and I'm going to fail, to not get on my soapbox every episode. But I think what a wonderful sentiment, similar to the first episode, for us to end on. And that, again, if you want to have a life, I'm not talking about celebrity, I'm not talking about fame, that stuff. If you're searching for that, Godspeed. But if you want to have a life where you can work and do something fulfilling and still have a couple drinks at the end of the night, go out for dinner, go on vacation, turn your phone off and not worry, and fall in love and have some adventures, you can do that. And I think that's pretty sick too. And I think that should be celebrated as well. So, as we keep going on this adventure together, you and I and all of us, let's see how far we can push that idea. How far can you take a dream without sacrificing parts of yourself you never should have had to in the first place? Cheers, babe. No matter what.
Ever forward.
Son of a bitch. She said the thing. Is that cheesy? I don't think it's cheesy.
We play superheroes.
Goddamn right. Who's playing? Who's playing?
Baby, are you hungry?
I'm so hungry.
Do you think that we should get something to eat?
Do you have any cameras nearby?
I do.
Well,